G'day everyone, I'm Kim, and in this video I'll be painting a splendid fairy wren using watercolour. I also want to have a chat about mistakes, but if you'd rather just watch the painting process and not listen, then feel free to put this on mute and listen to some other music instead, and I hope you enjoy the painting. Before I get started into that discussion, let me tell you about the materials I'm using, and these will be listed in the description below too. So the paper is a Hahnemühle bamboo mixed media paper that's 90% bamboo and 10% cotton. It's close to hot press cotton paper, so it's got a little bit of tooth. The watercolours are from the Art Spectrum landscape set, and you can check out my previous videos where I set up this palette and discuss the colours as well as testing them on some mini Australian landscape paintings. For the background, I'm using Australian leaf green dark, and this caused me issues, which is why I want to chat about making mistakes in a little bit. To start, I'm wetting the paper first with water using a large, flat 3/4 inch Escoda synthetic brush, and later for the rest of the painting I switched to round brushes in sizes 8 and 0. This is a male splendid fairy wren in breeding colours that's common in southern Western Australia here. They look similar to the superb fairy wrens from the east coast of Australia. However, the male's bright blue breeding plumage extends everywhere, not just above the breast. Otherwise, the plumage is more similar to that of females and juveniles, being a brown-grey colour when they're not in the breeding colours. So I'm painting this as a gift for a family member, and I'm using the photos that they were gifted of both a male and a female fairy wren. You'll see the male photo later when I take a closer look on how to do some of the details. So as I mentioned earlier, I had issues with the background because once I added the Australian leaf green dark to the wet paper, it didn't behave the way I expected. I wanted to create a soft, blurred, almost bokeh effect, but the pigments separated and caused streaking. I'd swatched that colour earlier, but not over a large area, so maybe that was my mistake. I wasn't happy with the result, but I thought, okay, just do the fairy wren. At the worst, you'll have to start again, but at least you've practiced then. In the end, I was actually quite satisfied with how the wren came out, so I decided to attempt to fix the background. At the start, you saw me lift some of the excess pigment off before it dried, so I could add another layer using a different green, this time from Schminke, and that did help somewhat. I didn't record this last part where I was fixing the background, but I think I added about 3 layers before I felt it was okay and I couldn't really do much anymore. I learned that I needed to know my paints and paper better, how they work together, and for instance how pre-wetting the paper could change their properties. I'm glad that I had that thought to push through and not catastrophize, because it gave me time to accept and think through possible solutions. One thing I think worth remembering is that as the creator, we are intimately aware of every detail of our artwork since we're involved throughout the whole process, whereas other people will probably only look at the piece for a few moments and consider it as a whole. So they might not even see the mistakes that we do, or consider them even as mistakes, but more just personal choice. You can read the article on my blog where I explore what mistakes are, how they are part of the learning process, how to prevent them, as well as how to accept and move on from making them. There's a link in the description below. How do you handle making mistakes? If you've got any tips, please feel free to share in the comments below, and thanks for watching.